Welcome back, everybody. This is Grace, and today we're going to be playing through the Frostval Week 2 of 2024 event, which is going to be the Frostval Truce. This is continuing the last quest, where if you missed it, basically us, the Chosen, is deciding to go undercover because his troops and the Battleon troops have formed a truce over Frostvale. And he's going to go undercover, see what's going on. Forget the other stuff, but nothing too crazy. The blizzard is letting up for now, but every time I think there's a pattern to it, it changes again. Tribute. Panic, sir. Tribune Panic, sir. At ease, young Centurion. I am here to help. Our god has heard your unit's messages and prayers. The foes ahead should be no burden to you, but you do face a peculiar battle. I am deeply grateful, sir. It is as you said. I do not foresee a challenge from this stranded Rend force, but the blizzard keeping us stranded with them could cause great harm. Still, with your aid, we could be able to push right through the cold and tend to our injuries on the other side. I can't remain for an entire march. I am needed southeast to halt a secondary enemy's insidious recruitment. However, morale is my specialty. I brought an expert with perfect experience. This is First Centurion Callan. While no Praetorian, do not underestimate them. They're a veteran of solo operations and could easily make Chief Centurion, the first cohort not already deployed. Brief them on your situation, and I can assure you they will make all the difference you need. If a single soldier can do that much, sir, then I am blessed by such exceptional aid. Thank you. Callan, it's a pleasure to meet you, Centurion Armies? I don't know. I'm not going to call them Centurion Armies, that's just weird. And that is the name, my fault if that is the name. I've already been informed of your findings about the entrenched enemy, but if you could please update me on this unnatural situation keeping you from striking. Certainly. First Centurion. To start with, welcome to Fort Frostval. We're in the western end of the northern Rend valleys, and seized this fortification on the way to its twin Fort Eastfall. The forts are part of a series of avalanche diversion structures meant to secure the passage of Rend's forces, and the first expeditionary force is tasked with securing these assets for the legions. No sooner did we meet resistance, though, and that the snow's intensity increased. We're hit with occasional surges, and though we have time to recover, many ice monsters emerge from the snow cover. We can deal with most monsters, but elementals emerge under our ranks, threatening to bury my soldiers. By the time we're done with them, there's no time for the enemy before the next surge, leaving only time for reconnaissance and this peculiar truce. I see. Show me through your situation, Centurion. Let your 100 keep resting. I'll help you deal with the ice creatures. It's a cool weapon. I don't think we've had this. It's cool armor too. Hopefully we'll get it, given that the armor is very similar. Well, actually no, it's notably different. This armor has a different chest piece, slightly different belt. Oh, the belt's the same, but the part under the belt looks a little different. Maybe it's just because it's reversed. The armor, is it the same color? I think it's the same color. Maybe like a tiny different shade. Helmet is obviously very different. But yeah, the only things I'm really seeing are the middle badge, the script on the arm. The arm piece looks actually the same aside from the script breaking up the middle. This little clip to hold the script in. Oh, and these shoulder crests too, those don't seem to be part of the helmet. Shoulder tendril thing. Interesting. I wonder if we'll see both versions of the armor. We won't see either. As equipable gear, we'll see. Who knows? Yourself, I'll admit to skepticism, but of course, for Centurion, I'm curious about your prowess. So we're doing a bit of an odd setup here. Oh, say it ain't so. We ran into that glitch where the player doesn't load sometimes. I'll pause and hopefully come back after clicking through dialogue to a fixed battle. Okay, so we're back. This time against a Hydra, and this time I happen to get the Lucretia potion for ambush, which should just allow me to have a bit more of a chill time. But what we're going to do 4 clicks, that should be good. We are going to be using a little bit of an FO Ranger setup. Oh, how much SP did I just prepare to pay? 444 SP. Oh, I guess fire is a little lower than I thought. But we're going to be using a setup that I've said is good for FO Rangers, but I actually haven't playtested in a good while. Silas staff, so I'm just looking for a way to click the Essence of Carnage. Just didn't want to click on another weapon effect. which is basically using the celerity from Summer Dryad to attack with pumpkin spice, so it gives you celerity, and then swapping to a different armor, you know. And for the different armor, we're actually going to be using... This weapon just happened automatically, I forget. Well, either way. We're going to use the Dawn of Dominion's retort weapon, which is a ranged token weapon, which lowers their defense, and then if your ranged BTH ramping gets to high, you instead inflict Elevol. So it's not that these quest mobs are going to be like super crazy or anything, but I'm just trying it out. You know, I like it. Red herring. An April Fool's mob, interesting. Well, here we're definitely going to go Summer Dryad. Set it to Wildfire. Pumpkin Spice Lance, Dex Boost Shield, and Ranger Scope. I got the Backlash, the boost is still going. Celerity is really cheap too, because it's only 150 fire res. So the celerity cost is divided by, I think, 1.5. Or something like that. Might not be quite 1.5, but... Use one turn before it can flow again. Oh, that's a Dune reference, I forgot. Spice flows and Dune, so, you know. Just gonna be chilling through these monsters. Might speed it up in the editing. Oh, you know what? Forgot I had enough mana. We're running Dexterity, Endurance, Luck, but with a 55 side of Intellect. Just so I can... Oh, I forgot to put Wildfire. Well, we'll just tank an off-element hit. Can't be bothered. What happened to my celerity? Did it just eat my celerity? Oh no, I got it normally. Never mind, I'm tripping. Yeah, and this attack is multi-element, so you actually don't need to be in the proper elemental defense to defend against it. 333 SP. We'll just run that. Oh, turns out we didn't need it. But yeah, so I'm a fan of this setup so far. Not that one battle is a great way to figure out if you like an item combo, but... And I forgot to turn to Wildfire again, whoops. I think the LE comp on this is about 1.7, 1.6. Let me double check that. Oh, Light and Earth. What's the MRM like? Yeah, probably like 1.6.5, 1.65 or something. But yeah, since these are pretty easy mobs, I don't really have to worry about getting clapped. Took a lot of ice damage, but I'm not gonna die off it. I do have the backlash from Essence of Carnage and Anger Linor, so nice little quick setup. That was an impressive performance. I can understand your confidence now. Yeah, let's look at the armors real close again. The badge is the same. The shield, I'm not using a shield. This guy's shield has a little orb on it. The weapons are obviously different. I'm trying to think if I recognize these weapons from anywhere. I'm not sure, to be honest, but yeah, I don't see anything else different. I thought it best to get any doubts out of the way before we proceeded. What's your progress on finding the source of these attacks? We have but one unit of the Vanguard assigned to us for now, and I gave them that mission until the others returned from Rend. However, they've been totally busy covering our flank from elementals. I've signaled for parley. We're going to meet with the enemy's commanding officer to find out why they've ceased attacking. I doubt they'll believe us about the rest of Rend being contained, but I'll do my best. Dame Regia of Priya, Colonel of the 2nd Column of Rend's Royal Infantry. Signal is acknowledged. What are your demands? Hail. I'm Centurion Arms of the Rubicon Legions, accompanied by 1st Centurion Callan. No demands, only questions. While this unnatural storm paralyzes our forces, diplomacy seems logical. Let's look at their armor. Seemingly normal Priya. This is the Olympics face, not Olympics, but you know, 2024 Olympics. This face came out, I believe. Might be older. In the background, we've got some Frostvale Christmassy decorations and some huts. Houses. I don't know what the houses would be, given this is a fort. So it depends how big the fort is. Maybe there's civilians inside the fort living in houses. Maybe those are normal buildings in a fort. I don't know much about forts. No demands, only questions. Whilst a natural storm paralyzes our forces, diplomacy seems logical. You serve the god of war, the one named war, and suggest diplomacy? I would be skeptical if not for the vanguard that could have attacked us already. Calling me confused enough to humor you, for now. I've assigned the Praetorians in my command to hold off the ice monsters besieging us in order to avoid unnecessary losses. To the same end, I ask why you continue to resist our advance. Rend and Stormfallen have already ceased combat with our forces and yielded passage. War commands that we cause no further harm, so long as we are not met with force ourselves. I have not heard from the rest of my columns since we were stranded by the snowfall, and there was no talk of such a surrender. Now you and the monsters are here too. No reason to believe this isn't a trick. The only thing, this is like a bit. I'm fine with this storyline so far. I'm a bit skeptical because like mages send messages all the time. Like we have Warwick with his telepathic orb. Warlick, not Warwick. That's I've been playing too much League lately. No, but like they haven't heard from the rest of their column. Do they not have a single wizard in their entourage? Like I know the Leylands got messed up, but I'm pretty sure we've seen people using magic recently, like post Leylines. And if that's the case, I would assume that communication wouldn't be a problem, but maybe there's something I'm forgetting. But I'm having a little bit of suspension of disbelief here with the fact that they can't get a message through. I mean, it could always be a magical storm, but you know, that's my reaction to this, is what I'm saying. If your seat of Arcana is so callous or overwhelmed that they are sparing no magic to reach a stranded colonel, I'll provide the reason. War could have raised a path clear already. They chose not to. We've got War's direct attention, then I'd take that lofty lot of layabouts, being the overwhelmed ones for once, if not for my soldiers. I can entertain a truce, but I still can't take just your word. The storm will be dealt with before long. Word will be able to reach you then. I'll pardon my intervention, Centurion. Please resume your questions. No, it was fine. That was decisive. I'm curious, Colonel. Even when the monsters mainly focused on us during a lull in the storm, you never moved out. Some of us even heard singing earlier. Why is that? Because it's the eve of Frostvale, Centurion. My forces saw their death approaching at the hands of snow burial or the flames of war. Met it with holiday cheer. Why would I stop them? Then let's make the truce's duration. Make that the truce's duration. So long as none approach either fort, no fighting until the midnight of Frostvale's end. We can take time for the rescue of stranded and gathering of casualties. That sounds agreeable. So long as no soldiers stray close in the middle between our posts, I'll inform my forces. Perhaps we'll hear yours sing for a change. Do mind the monsters as you return. Okay. Pretty interesting. Doom Jelly, I don't like these guys. I mean, most people don't. We're not going to use a Solera Latte because it would cost 600 SP. I think we're going to go... I think it hits with energy, water first, and then energy SP attack, if I remember correctly. So we're going to use... I hope this is the ranged one. It is ranged, sweet. I don't know the names of the Nemesis weapons. But it has like click skill that seeks between harm, so I brought that. Just in case. In case I needed it, but... So it seems like the, I was thinking about the story so far. Seems pretty normal. I do think it's a little bit difficult to believe that there's not like cross communication via magic between different places, but you know, not a huge deal or anything. Here we're gonna start the battle in the initiative armor. Summer Dryad, Pumpkin Spice, nope, Glory of the First. Oh, I forgot to do Wildfire again. I feel like I forget that every battle. That's the downside of this armor, you have to remember to do the Wildfire toggle. And we're just gonna top up actually, we'll wait till the next set of 2 fights, because I don't think they're gonna end yet. Another Doom Jelly. So same setup here. I'm actually gonna Essence Orb to full, why not? But I'm enjoying this quest so far. I do think Frostvale normally ends in a war, the gift delivery war. I forget if that has plot. I think it does, usually. But we're we're gonna end with a war, so it seems like we'll either be fighting someone who isn't the Battle-On forces, so we don't break the truce, or we will be past Frostvale, and so we will fight the Battle-On forces, because the truce will be over. Yeah, it's a lot of damage. I like this setup. Celerity's pretty easy. Technically, you should switch to like a Blood Blade on your second attack, but can't be bothered, you know? Because this doesn't actually boost your damage, it just gives you celerity, and the second turn, you don't need the celerity anymore. Okay. This is much higher than where the Praetorians thought the elementals were emerging from. Whoever set this up used a great deal of misdirection to keep away from the control point. Grand Elemental obeisance to Summoner. Even now I obey the will of Master Arcanist Kaya. You speak as if you resist certain words. I've commanded elementals before, but even those were summoned, not this. Such an intrusive binding, yet you seem to have been wearing it out. Reclaiming yourself from the binding gems, can you say what your orders are? I must not. Not all owed, but I have patience. Ice crushes through the land. However long it takes, I have taken back that part of me at least. She commanded forced control summoning array, but no force of the fire realm through. Summon elementals of cold and water alike, bake an allegiance between Frostval and Kaenos. Frostval is that one ice super dragon, ancient dragon. Kaenos, I don't know. Is that supposed to be Krenos? Surely not. If the ruse isn't believed, Kaenos must be the water one. Attack dragons to attract them to the valley, then hide while they rampage. Frostval, that's a name from 1,000 years ago. So you are bound as the controller for a grand distracting ambush during the First Great Elemental War. And never freed. Oh! Mostly just like ancient stuff, okay. So not related to the current conflict. This is Torment. Can you return to the realm of ice if I free you? I have waited in bindings and clawed at the curses in my mind for a silence that never comes. I can still reform where I belong, but I will have my retribution on the mortals first. You deserve freedom and justice, but your captor must be long dead by now. Likely during the war, your trap wasn't tripped by any forces of the fire realm. With my Praetorian Vanguard's fire powers, there is a chance she lives. My fate must not be repeated. Mortals must face a reckoning. They will, at my hand. You speak in flame and ruin. That is enough. I accept, but I am bound, made to resist. Forgive me the need for subtlety. This would take an instant without it. Prepare yourself. You have a checkpoint. How nice. How considerate. I wonder if it works. Sometimes they don't. Grand Ice Elemental. If I remember correctly, there is a monster in the part 2 of the Entropy finale that is an Ice Elemental that looks very much like this. Maybe with one less arm though. Like, see this arm over here? I think that's new. Obviously the armor is new, the chains are new. But I think it's a very similar monster, so let's see if it has the same mechanics. I can't say I remember the damage cap or anything. Intellect, strength. Presumably it's going to use that MP bar for something, but we'll see. We'll win the battle with initiative. We'll remember to use wildfire, ranger scope, attack. That's a lot of damage. Dawn of Dominions. I shouldn't stay in a fire armor. I should affect the boss. Nightmare plate. Frostorm Defender. Just a random ice shield. Fully defensive. Yeah, we'll go FD. What did I just get? Defense boost? Hold on, let's check the battle log. Looks like it inflicted me with death loss without a pop-up. Spent MP to inflict death loss. Well, I'm gonna remove my pet and guess because I want to do this. Nah, we don't even need the fairy godmother. Let's just attack and see what happens. Because now I have dodge boost. I got that from the oh, it's burning me. Okay. So it's got a burn. It's got a death law. Surely not, right? And it's doing the same attack, but it didn't spend mana this time. Let's see if it uses SP bar. Oh, it is. Your arcane knowledge helps you avoid the worst of a magical attack. I kind of want to go back and look at a clip of regeneration this time, so I cleanse the burn. Let's actually, I'm going to stall a couple turns just because I'm curious about what this thing does. So I'm going to draw mana with Silas Staff. This basic attack doesn't seem to be inflicting a status, or if it is, I'm just resisting it and there's no pop-up. Let's see what happens with this. Do I get frozen? No. Resist magical attack. Okay, well, I'll be honest, I got patience. I'm gonna just sit here until something happens. Oh, now we're getting death loss. Okay, so the death loss is on the basic attacks. Ice death loss. Okay. But now I get the death boost. Okay, so it inflicts death loss passively. And then presumably it, on its SP attack, will inflict a something. And I've resisted it twice now. Let's hope I don't resist it a third time. Evil. Okay. There could be another effect, but seems like that's it. And I've been chilling at this boss for long enough, so. Oh, okay. Oh, I thought that was a different animation, but no, it's just the same one. Looks sick, though. I hope we get that as a spell. I don't think we will, but looks really cool. Maybe we already have it as a spell, actually. I don't know. You made the right call today, Arms. The Vanguard said, oh. Surely that wasn't important. The containment of the threat then made it possible to find without worrying about any collateral damage befalling the Legionnaires. Thank you for Centurion. If I may ask, how did you find the source of the monster's reinforcements? Even our Slayer found false tracks when they caught any slack to push out. They would have found it in time, but it was best that they focus solely on your safety. The mountain path was littered with hidden summoning points controlled from an ancient summoning circle at the peak. Some cruel wizard laid an ambush for Fire Realm forces during the Great Elemental War, and placed some extreme bindings to turn Ice Elemental into the controller for the ambush. That tormented creature was triggered by sensing the Praetorian Vanguard in action. It was thankfully simple from that point onwards. I have some useful experience with Ice Elementals. That's a reference because we summoned the Ice Elementals for that quest in the second quest of the Entropy finale. Tribute panicked, picked the perfect help. I can see how you could earn in command of an entire cohort, and strange as it is, I'm grateful for this short truce. To see the enemy celebrate instead of attacking, to broker a truce to do the same. I've just been through the most extraordinary scenes imaginable, and much of it is thanks to you. I'd like to ask you about that actually. Why did you not attack during the initial report of enemy in action? It's no reprimand, just interested in knowing your reasons to ignore this tactical opportunity. It's true that I could have committed the Vanguard to flash strikes, to hit fast and return to hold the fort. I could not commit the health and safety of all my forces to buy that chance for our strongest. That makes sense, is that all? No, it's not. In the moments the wind stilled and we heard singing, I saw people's faces. It wasn't faltering. We all know the fighting will resume when the truce ends. What I saw was longing. When I saw it, I couldn't ask them to commit each other to ruin, so that some harried few of them might risk it all to reach enemy lines quickly or stealthily enough. I could order them to destroy the enemy, but I couldn't order them to become the kind who destroy their allies. I couldn't see the joy they have left and make them destroy themselves, even for our God. Good. The miracle of peace, the gift delivery. So apparently we are not going to be fighting the battle on forces, because the gift delivery is called the miracle of peace. Actually no, there might be one more quest. But gift delivery is the war, usually, so I don't know, we'll see. But either way, we got a treat. 3 items, which means we've gotten the weapon, shield, pet, and misc so far. We only have the spell and the armor remaining. If there even is a spell. Which I hope is just a light panic spell, but that is what it is. We'll see what we can get. We've got the Festive Legionary Helmet. The helm of the Legionary of the Rubicon Legions, now festively decorated to protect against light and boost damage against panicking foes. Let me grab the info subs real quick and see exactly what this does. It boosts dex, endurance, and luck. and it gives apparently a 1.25x damage multiplier, or addition. So a plus 25% damage if the foe is panicked. Seems like a strong misc. That being said, Dex, Endurance, and Luck. Many people aren't always going to want that. I find that, for me, I don't really like Endurance on miscs because I don't use it generally. But the Dex and Luck is quite nice. The only thing I don't like about it is that 106 SP cost. Which I'm actually not totally sure how that comes together. Let me figure it out real quick. Okay, so I crunched the numbers. 44 of that SP cost, might be 45, comes from the light resistance. There are 3 plus 50 stat boosts, so 17 per stat boost, that's 51 in total. Then we have 11 for the damage on trigger against panic. So that's why it costs 100. I don't think it's a great misc. I'm gonna buy it. I buy pretty much everything. You can let me take a look at my shared vault. I got 175 weapons in here, but I think it's a nice misc. Definitely nice to have a Dex Luck misc for Rangers. The only thing is, Sight Beyond Sight already does that, and Ranger Scope debatably does it better for most situations, but nice to have. And it's good to have a damage boost on it. I don't think we have other miscs that give Dex and Luck and a damage boost. I think this is the only one. Festive Legionary Scorpio. This is gonna be pumping numbers. It's got a panic trigger. The panic trigger isn't all that, but the fact that it pays SP for it means that it's not that bad, so it can do, I think, double pet damage normally. Let me actually check the info subs real quick. Yeah, so it deals about it deals 70% more damage when you pay the SP cost and you're against panicking foes. Definitely a nice thing, but the reason I like it is because it provides 21% darkness damage reduction. It also gives 24 panic potence, which is a little bit cracked out of its mind. For panic, it's really OP, and to be honest, it's kind of annoying to me how OP it makes panic, so I'm not going to talk about it because I don't want to get all negative about it when it's a misc or a pet that people will really like. But I really like the damage reduction mode because I like Void Nightbane as a challenge, and a 21% damage cut will do very good things for me in my Void Nightbane endeavors. Going to be very, very helpful in the future. I also have never published that first Void Nightbane kill I did. If the clips haven't corrupted, which I pray they haven't, but they're like 2 years old at this point, I will upload it, or I will start editing when I hit 300 subscribers. Not to beg for subscribers, but I'm just like, I need a goal to like hit to edit that, because there's like 12 hours of footage for the Nightbane video. Anyways, we're getting off track. Nightbane video soon, probably, hopefully. Pet seems pretty good. I'm going to show you what it does. I mean, I already told you what it does, but I'll show you in game. Festive Legionary Shield. Shield meant to protect a unit during its inexorable approach. Now decorated to celebrate companionship. It can make foes panic or reduce their healing. I think this is a slight passive panic infliction. Let me just see if I can find the info sub. There we go. So you can pay SP. It just reduces the monster's healing resistance. So you pay about, I think, 79 SP. You reduce the monster's healing resistance by 30%. Can be pretty good. The second, you pay the same amount of SP, and it gives a panic, which is minus 16.8% damage. It's a charisma save, so pretty nice. And you can also pay SP to do both. Very powerful shields. Panic is really good, so any way to stack more of it, I think is going to be very helpful, particularly now that we have... oh, I can buy it. I don't actually need to buy slots. Nice. Particularly now that we have a Panic Potence pet. You won't need a Panic Potency shield all the time. And it's a Charisma save, so it's a very, very easy save to win, usually. Although it is Charisma versus Charisma. If you don't have Charisma, it'll be a little bit harder to hit. Did I talk about these weapons? I forget. Anyways, I'll just grab one real quick. We got the pet, we got the misc, we got the shields. Yeah, we're good to go. Okay. So is there a reopen shop button? There is. Let's see if it works. I always check for reopen shop buttons because, you know, someone has to tell them they forgot it. And they'll definitely remember. No, I'm kidding. They do remember, usually, to add it in after, if they're reminded. But This is the little guy pet. I love this little contraption, this little thing we got going on. It's got a big ass tree. It's got a tree launcher. It's whatever the hell this thing is. It's a giant crossbow, a ballista. It's got 4 little guys like holding up the winches and the levers, and this little guy's just hanging on like the trainee. I think it's great fun. I'm gonna use Silas staff. I don't have Silas staff anymore. Fill out my inventory. We'll just use this real quick, and we'll go with a quick armor animation. I'll go with a small armor actually, so it's out of the way. Launches the tree, and he provides cover fire, reducing darkness damage and enhancing your panic effects. So I'm getting 18.5 panic potence. That's because this guy scales off of Dex and Charisma. So if you don't have all Dex and all Charisma, you won't get quite as much. Not a huge deal, just so you know, just so you're aware. If we click this guy, now he's going to attack against panicking foes. Let me use the dormant power of the weapon. Yeah, actually, I don't think I made a video on these weapons, but they basically pay 40% melee, 15 in SP, 15% in SP, and 25% in reducing their damage to inflict a pretty strong panic. Although this guy just resisted it because I have 0 strength, but, you know, that's what it is. But a 32% panic, so it's actually quite nice. Does this guy eat the panic? Did he just resist the... Oh no, he's still panicked, I'm tripping. But yeah, so very cute looking pet. I'm a big fan of this guy. I'm gonna make up a new name for this pet. Haven't decided what it is yet. Probably gonna be like the Gremlin Squad or Gnomes on a Tree. I don't know. The name is a work in progress, but this deserves a much better name than Festive Legionary Scorpio. Like, it deserves a more appropriate name to this than that. Now we're looking at Festive Legionary Shield. Let's remove the pet. I love the pet, but it's a little big. To reduce your healing, you can make your foe panic, or you can do both. Let's see what the SP cost is. I believe it's 40% melee, which should be like 160 or something. I forget, but I just gotta use a weapon that doesn't cost SP. Let's see. Your foe's attack breaks ornaments, and the light blasts them and makes them panic. So what happens after their attack? Or after the first hit? I forget, but we lose 157 HP, which means it's about 80, like I said, 79 per item. The 29% heal resistance, that is going to pump numbers. I am not ready to showcase something with heal resistance right now, but 30% heal resistance reduction on monsters, that also affects their base SP reduction. So it's a very strong tool. Very, very strong tool. The panic, of course, like I said, stacking more panic is always nice. I'm a big fan of that. Now we had the Misc to show off. Makes you deal bonus damage to panicking foes. I don't know if they did this on purpose, but plus 25% damage exactly removes the penalty that Dead Thieves weapons pay on their attacks. Which is cool. I don't know if they did it on purpose, but it's nice. But a 25% damage boost is nothing to scoff at. Absolutely not. So I'm a fan, yeah. I think this is a fun release. I enjoyed the quest. I like that we got a little elemental action going on. I am actually going to go check back an old recording and see if that fight is exactly the same as the ones from the Chessmaster Saga. So I'm going to pause my recording, come back to you after I get that information. Okay, so I managed to find a clip. The monster is a little bit different. The boss boost is different. The exact statuses and inflicts are different. On his basic attacks inflicts death loss rather than Elivuln. But you know, pretty similar boss. I'm not too worried about it. Normally I complain about bosses, but hey, whatever. It was a fun little fight, had a good little story. I'm a fan. Pretty fun release. I think these items are going to be very helpful. I think the pet is going to be very, very meta, just for the panic bones on pretty much any build. Even without any stats, of course, it'll be better than Spotter Drake. And actually, no matter what your stat line, if you're inflicting panic, it'll be better than Spotter Drake because Spotter Drake also scales off of Dexterity and Charisma, so it'll always be better over Spotter Drake for inflicting panic. I think the pet's just going to be really good. I don't think a damage mode is anything crazy. We have 2 Panic Eater pets. This one is just a panic trigger, so there's about not quite a half of the, a little more than a half the damage that it does about half the damage of the true panic eaters when they're eating panic. I mean, you don't always want to eat your panic, but you know, that's why I think the damage mode is going to be nice but not crazy. The shield, I think a lot of people are going to use it. The misc, I think a lot of people are going to use it, but it is expensive, so I personally probably won't. But you never know. I mean, if you have a lot of SP to spend, why not spend it on a lot of stats, you know? Seems reasonable enough. But with that being said, that's the quest. I had a great time, I hope you did too. Spread some peace and love. Let me know if you have any questions, ideas, or recommendations, and I'll see you later. Bye bye.